always prospecting, right? Like throughout the week. That's why they say you should have a new top 25 every week because you should be getting out there and talking to people. And I'm glad you dress and shit because when you put that shit on like that, you're more inclined to go out and talk to people. You know what I'm saying? Like more than that, people are more inclined just to run up on you and hey, you know what I'm saying? You put that shit on. Bet. Hey, what do you do for a living? You know what I'm saying? Like you'll put yourself in the position to attract the people that you want to do business with. And when you see that, like sometimes there was a time where I wouldn't always recognize the opportunity. You know what I'm saying? I would let those random ass conversations just be random ass conversations instead of, oh, okay, come here. You know what I mean? So
having focused conversation.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
Yeah, just recently, the first night I came here, I was dressed with a suit, right?
Mm-hmm.
And after this meeting, I went home, took my wife out on a late date, and we went to this business. And the business owner, he saw me, man, and he's like, man, a lot of people around here, and many years that I've been here, I only seen like someone with a suit twice, and many years. He's like, so what do you do? So I got his business card. I became friends with him, and now I'm fixing to do business with him.
Yeah.
So I mean, when you get out of here, man, and you get all excited, this is the best time to get out there and do something with it, man, with that energy, because people feel that energy. Not you don't have to say nothing, just stand there and people will come to you, man. I mean,
when you leave the house in sweats and basketball shorts, you feel different than how you felt when you left the house dressed like that, right?
Sure.
Mm-hmm.
That energy, that enthusiasm is like people feel that.
It's infectious.
Yeah.
It's infectious. It attracts people.
Right.
It's like being the flower attracting the bees type shit. And that's essentially what we want to do. We are attracting the community to come hear what we got going on, come see the solutions we're providing. But just looking the part makes it a lot easier, especially us being us, you know what I'm saying, our age and shit like that. There's kind of a stigma about young businessmen, young Black businessmen. So if you want to kind of get over that overcome that obstacle, just throw on a button down. You know what I'm saying? It's simple. It's real simple. But so that's one part of the recipe, right?
Yes.
Your energy, being enthusiastic, being intentional about what you're doing, just being happy in general. You know what I'm saying? Like nobody should be able to look at you, regardless of what's going on in your life. As a man, nobody should be able to look at you and tell shit's fucked up behind the scenes, even if it is, right? Because that's not one, people don't want to be around that, but two, how are you promoting and marketing life-changing, life-saving information when I can look at you and tell you fucked up? It's not gonna work. So what I want to talk about today is the recipe, and I think I might have done this before with you, but what's y'all's like favorite dish to eat? Like you walk in the house, grandma's cooking. What are you hoping is on the stove?
Me?
What you say?
Gumbo.
Gumbo. Now that's one.
I like gumbo. Too. But obviously, it's not my favorite. But like, there is a Mexican dish, like a very, very authentic, traditional recipe, and it's just basically steak, and it's cooked on a special sauce that is called salsa de molcajete. So they burn the tomato, the cheese, the jalapeno, whatever. They toast it on the pan, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then they peel it off, and then they smashed it on a stone, and they put spices and stuff. And then once they cook the steaks, they pour all the salsa on it, and they just let it boil with it, just a little water, whatever. And then add beans on the side or whatever, with just plain corn tortillas.
That's it, huh? So
something simple like that, but it's Very special man.
So let me ask you, and it might sound small to most people, but if the tomatoes, you said tomatoes and onions, right?
Tomatoes and jalapenos.
Tomatoes and jalapenos. If those weren't grilled first, like if those weren't charred and burned first, right? Let's just say that you wait until the meat is ready and everything. You just cut up fresh tomatoes and jalapenos. Would it taste the same?
No. Never.
Not at all,
Not
right?
Not at all.
So, okay. So hold on to that. Dimitri?
I would say mine was beef stew that my dad would make with some cornbread. When he made the beef stew, it was like he would make a huge amount for like the family and all that. But the ingredients that he used, it wasn't like the one that you get at the can type of like at the store and all that. He went above and beyond. Any vegetable, any meat you can think of, he would throw in there, right? But there's a certain way that he would flavor it with the ingredients that he used, and with the cornbread, it's just like it was great. It was really good.
Was the cornbread sweet?
Yeah, it was sweet cornbread. Yeah.
Is there any?
I mean, that's the only
Yeah,
cornbread.
yeah,
What are you talking
You know, I
about?
asked the question because I don't just eat people cornbread. So, yeah, I have. That's why I'm specific about.
I'm sorry.
Right.
Right, it's terrible.
Right. Yeah, I was the worst kid. You couldn't give me no. If it don't taste right, I'm gonna let you know. Like, what is this? So you know, it's the following the recipe has always been in me. But I got that one. So it's that beef stew, cornbread. Was there any like specific steps or process, like ordered steps that you remember your dad taking?
Cooking the meat first, right? I think that was the huge part of doing that because that would take the longest. And then from there, once that was ready, you would start to add like the vegetable, like the onions, mushrooms, bell pepper, so forth and so on, and then with the ingredients and all that, right? And then before it was about to finish, then cook the cornbread that was ready at the same time. You get it fresh with.
You gotta get the cornbread
Hot.
juice from the beef stew.
Cornbread still melt this shit.
All the flavors.
I feel you.
The sweet and savory.
Okay, so when he was cooking the meat,
Uh-huh.
that was before he did everything else,
Mhm.
right? And when you say cooking the meat, you mean like browning it before you put it in the pot
Exactly.
type situation?
Yeah, before you put it into the pot, right?
Okay, so let's say he skipped that step.
Mhm.
Would the beef still have been the same?
Okay.
Not at all. Not at all. Not at all. We be talking about a completely different dish right now.
Yeah.
I
What's
like
yours?
pupusas with like beans and cheese.
What?
Mm.
Those are good.
Pupusas?
Papusa.
It's like it's kind of like masa. And they make like a tortilla almost, and then they put beans and cheese and meat.
Like
whatever you
that.
want to put
Stuff
in.
it.
Oh,
So it's like a tortilla, not like a pastry.
No,
Nah, it's a tortilla, but it's like, you know, a tamale.
you had
It's
one.
like masa,
It's
the
like
same thing as a
gorditas.
tamale.
It's like
It's literally like a
Remember, I
tamale,
got
but
it
it's like
from
a
Sam's.
little pizza almost. And they like, no, sorry. But yeah, you pretty much make the masa and then you roll it out and then you put whatever you want in the middle and then like fold it up. Boom, go ahead and brown it. It's fire.
Well, you brown. How you brown it? You fry it or bake
You
it?
fry it.
Okay, word. So
But hey, you didn't like make the masa a certain way. You messed up the masa.
Right,
Yeah,
masa's
That's the
just
whole
nasty.
dish.
that's really where I was going.
Masa's
That's,
the most
I see
important
the
thing.
point in it, yeah.
I mean, you got the meat, you got the cheese, but if that masa's not right,
Nah, it's
the
gonna go
consistency
off.
ain't right, it's gonna be all off.
Yeah.
So, okay, what about you, Darren? Oh, you said gumbo. What's the process behind the gumbo? What's in the gumbo? Tell me that. Is okra in there?
Man, okra,
Better be in there.
some sausages, you got the crab legs in there. You got
Oh shit,
shrimp.
y'all doing it. Okay.
Yeah, the shrimp.
Okay.
Yeah, it ain't the big one too, the snow crab. My grandma did the big crab.
Okay.
One that look like this.
The
Like,
king crab.
Yeah, comes at the liquor store earlier today. You can go over there. Yeah. As far as the process, I don't know. I usually just walk inside and get a bowl.
Is grandma here in San Antonio?
Nah, she in New Mexico.
Shit, we
I
take
mean,
the trip to
shit,
New
yeah,
Mexico.
we can take a ride for some gumbo shit.
Right.
Don't make it too after that shit.
But okay, so one thing I do know about gumbo is the roux is
I
real
was about to
important.
say the roux. You gotta start with the
The base is real important. So, have you ever had somebody else's gumbo that was just completely different? Just
Oh yeah.
Oh,
He said,
yeah.
oh yeah.
not it.
Hell yeah. I use water down.
Right.
You use too much damn water.
No, yeah. But you know, restaurants do shit like
He
that.
called
Right.
out.
Hell
Right.
yeah. I said something too. I ain't talked to her since.
Oh.
That was 2015. I ain't Crazy night, a whole new life. I mean, financial services and everything.
I got a whole new life.
I can't talk to you. You water down the gumbo.
I got
You water down the gumbo. You can't get the number right. You can't get right.
Not at all.
You ain't got the root
Not
right.
at all. You failed the test.
You gonna rule the day. You make it rule.
What about you?
I don't know.
I mean, I did you last for a reason.
Did you? What I'm thinking.
That's a good looking sunset.
Yeah. Where I chase sunsets and sunrises.
Okay.
When I'm out of
I
town,
can really see it.
I'm waking up
With
early.
that.
Yeah, I'm waking up early. I might have to drive 20, 30 minutes, but I'm gonna find me a little spot that's unobstructed where I can see everything I want to see. So
So I was working up in the area the other day while I was at sunset, and I got to see the sunset like 300 feet up on the Alamo Dome. It was pretty dope. I got a picture and everything.
yeah, bro.
Yeah.
And that's one that not a lot of people gonna have too. That's
That was
dope.
the one.
That's dope.
Mine's chicken and rice, but it's not gonna follow your thing because you can just throw all that shit in together.
You
My
still have
grandma's.
You gotta boil the rice.
No,
All right, so if you don't cook the rice, what? Let's say you skip that recipe, that part. You don't boil
no,
the
you
rice.
throw
put
it,
the rice
literally
in
throw
at
it
the end.
all in together.
So you still have to boil the rice.
You don't.
And cook the chicken.
So-
No, it's just literally my grandma's the
So-
pot and throw it all together.
So
shut
you
it.
know how I don't like mushy rice, right?
Right.
So when you
Okay.
put everything all in there
Then that's
together,
different. It's
how does the rice come out?
mushy?
I'm
Yeah.
real. I just
And
put my rice
great.
in the rice cooker. It takes 15 minutes. It tells me how much water to put in it. It comes out great.
Hey, the machine follows recipe for you.
Yep.
Right.
Yeah, machines follow programs.
Yeah.
The problem with people is that we don't typically follow the programs that we should follow,
We got free will.
right? We have free will, but we've been well programmed. I mean, if you consider the rest of society, right, deeply programmed, we can follow a program. The messed up part is we typically don't follow the ones that are in our best interest, right? Before I forget, next time you get on a plane, do your best to schedule your flight at sunrise or sunset.
Word.
Completely different, bro. Completely
Those are
different.
the expensive flights.
No, early ones be cool.
I usually like find that night anyway, so yeah.
But yeah, getting out like the sunset flights be pretty dope. But the sunrise flights, that's like a whole thing.
Word.
But okay, so back to the topic at hand, the recipe, right? So the reason why I brought that up is because when you're cooking, when you're preparing a meal, or when you're putting together a plan of action, when you have a desired outcome for your habits and what you're doing on a regular basis, right? You can just throw everything in the pot at one time, and, sit back and let it go, right? But then you don't really have any kind of control over the outcome, right? On the other side, you can follow a recipe, like to the T, right? Because just like I don't know if y'all heard me last week, I said that like employees need bosses, entrepreneurs and business owners need coaches, athletes need trainers, right? Well, athletes need trainers, entrepreneurs and business owners need mentors, right? The whole premise behind that is you want to plug yourself in with or connect yourself with somebody that knows how to get from where you are to where you want to be, right? Somebody that's lived that experience, somebody that can kind of shorten your learning curve. So if we're talking about preparing a meal, right? You may not always have access to a 5-star chef. You're not going to have, you're not going to be able to pick up the phone and call Gordon Ramsay all the time. What you can do though is go on Google, type in what you want, look up a few recipes and figure out which one suits your desired flavor profile, and then follow the recipe, right? But if you don't follow the recipe, you're not going to get the outcome you want. So to kind of correlate that to the business, right? What I see a lot of times people do is just try to wing it. I'm sure, during phone zone, you've heard agents just call up somebody and, hey, have you ever heard of IUL? Where does it say that in the playbook at all? You know what I'm saying? And then
What IUL is?
And then you got people wondering why I'm getting hung up on, why people aren't showing any interest, why people are setting appointments but not showing up. It's because you're not following well, in this sense, we would say following the script, but essentially the script is a recipe, right? The playbook that we have is the recipe book. So you're not always, I mean, Pat's easily accessible. You know, you can get a lot of information from Matt, from his social media and stuff like that. But at the end of the day, if our desired outcome is building a team, right? Building the biggest army to go out and fight this poverty war, well, there's steps necessary to take, bless you, in order to make sure that we are gathering the right and proper ingredients so that our recipe is good for consumption, right? And in this case, the right and proper ingredients are people. But in order to get those people, you have to go about it the right way, right? Like Pat always says, you don't have a lead. Well, a lead is not a lead. First, they're a suspect before they're a prospect, right? Because you want to pre-qualify them. You want to identify whether or not they're going to be a good fit for your team. You want to identify whether these vegetables are ripe enough to go in your beef stew, right? Because if not, if you put rotten vegetables in your beef stew, it's not going to taste good, right? What they say, one rotten apple can ruin the whole bunch. Like, we're building a community and a team here. One negative person can ruin the entire atmosphere of what we're building. So you got to definitely be aware of that. But when we're putting this all together, right, the scripts matter, whether it's the help me script or the, what is it, 3 good quality script, right? When we were here last night, I was doing a call and I kind of mixed it up. It was either last night or last week. But I mixed up the help. No, it was last night. I mixed up the help me and the 3 great quality script. Now, the difference between these 2 scripts is one of them is for your warm market. When you fresh out the gate, just getting started, right? It's a lot easier to have a conversation with people that you know, like, and love, that you trust, that you know have your back. It's more comfortable to have a conversation and learn with them, which is why we always recommend the first people you go to is family and friends, right? Are they going to test you? Yeah. Are they going to call you out? Yeah, probably. But at the end of the day, you know, at least coming from them, that it was with positive intent, right? You probably won't take it personal. It's not going to hurt so bad when family says no, even though a lot of people take that super personal and it's like, oh my God, I'm dying. But at the end of the day, everybody can't go, family. So everybody's not going to see it. And y'all got to realize that the fact that you're here and this is a mission that you've taken on, this is a commitment that you made to yourself. I don't know if you've ever heard that a prophet can't be a prophet in his own land, right? Like, or a better way to say that, or another way to say that, familiarity breeds contempt, right? So when people feel like they know you, there's less of a chance that they'll listen to you unless you're speaking to them about something that they already identify you as an expert in, right? If you've been winning fantasy football for the last 3-4 seasons, yeah, cool. Your family will probably want to talk to you about that. But as soon as you mention, hey, let me show you how to build a tax-free retirement. What? You? Where'd you get this information from? You know what I'm saying? So we got to understand, like, human nature and how people respond to certain situations. And when you can kind of manage that and manage your expectations, the rest kind of all falls into place, right? Human interaction, human. Damn, I lost my train of thought. But so with the recipe, you want to start with prospecting, always. You always want to be prospecting. You're always looking to build your contacts, build your book of business. If this is something that you plan on doing for real, if you haven't figured it out, this is like a lifetime thing. It's like welcome to death row type shit. Like, you're going to be doing this for the rest of your life, even if it's just part-time. Because as you grow in this information and you start to understand the power it provides to you and your family, and then you start seeing the impact that you're making in other people's lives over time, it's just going to start to compound. And what I think a lot of people forget about is that as you continue to do this over time, you gain more momentum, and it's easier, right? Because not only are you older, not only do you look more trustworthy, not only are you more informed about what's going on, but as you're consistent, that builds a higher level of credibility, right? It's another part of the recipe. But when we're talking to people, you got to identify people that are right for what we have, which is why we focus on our macho market, right? Anybody know? Everybody should know the macho market. What's the macho market?
Married, age, children, homeowner, occupation.
And what's the age?
25 and up.
25 and up. Does anybody know why that's the...
They're not dumbasses anymore.
Anybody
Well, I
know
think
why
they
that's the segment of
experience
society we
a lot
focus
more
on?
life and like having them, get
Their frontal cortex.
well, yes,
developed
that for men and
for
all that,
men.
but basically getting their butt kicked in life, getting them the hand, and they start to see like this is not how I want to live my life, whatever it may be. If it comes to any type of company, corporate world, and all that, they start to realize like I'm working for that man's dream. I'm not working for my own.
Right, exactly. So let me ask you this. From the age of 25, your life when you were 25, compared to your life and your understanding of the world when you were 28, how much different was that for you?
Like from 25 or like 4 or 5 years ago?
I meant 22. Did I say 25?
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, you're good.
22.
22. Well, I was in college at the time, and like when it came to like understanding life, I was always to myself, right? So I always found the outlet to life didn't take care of me or I wasn't happy with it. I would just go to games, right? That was my outlet, and that was such a bad way because I pretty much programmed my mind like if anything bad happened or I had a stressful day, that was my outlet. I didn't go out. I didn't hang with family as much as I should, and different things of that nature. Now, putting in almost 4 or 5 years into Best Buy now, and really, really understanding like the value that I have there. I know
shit, you're 28 now, aren't you?
Yeah, I'm 28 now. Like if I was to now from college, done college and all that, basically like it really opened my eyes that the value that I have there, I'm not getting paid what my value is. Like if I was to leave today, they would suffer. I know they would, but that's on them, right? I decided to go above and beyond to learn everything to be a better person and to help people. My whole thing when I joined Best Buy was not only just tech and it was cool and all that, was educating people. Surprisingly, that was the one thing I hated being young when I was younger and all that. I didn't like educating people. I didn't think of myself as a good teacher. Funny enough, everyone always said, "You're a good teacher. You're able to explain stuff. You're able to work with people. You take your time and all that." And so coming to this now, it really opened my eyes. I'm like, I'm wasting my time there. I really am. Because when you're there, you gotta have to just take it. You got to take it when it comes to attitudes and people and all that. But it did shape me to have a better mindset on like handling people, right? And getting out of my shell, because that was my whole thing. I was in my shell, before going into Best Buy. Going to Best Buy, it brought me out of my shell. Coming here, it brought me more out of my shell and uncomfortable. Like, crap, I need to go talk to people. I have a word to share that someone is looking for. So now having to get the life really kicked out of me of just, from complaining to seeing my dad almost die in a car accident, my mom having health issues and all that, it's really opened my eyes. And like, life is short. I need to be ready. If I'm not, time is going to invade me very, very quickly. And I'm not doing anything good for my family and the legacy because there's a lot of things that's tied to my family when it comes to curses. Like it's not just one, but more. And so I have a huge responsibility to the Jesus that works through me to go and break that. And me not doing anything and continue to go my old ways and all that, I'm not doing any good or bringing any value that way. So, but to answer in the short term, I know it went on a long thing. Basically, yeah, I mean, it really, really opened my eyes to that the world is not what I thought, where it was all like sunshine and rainbows and all that, right? It's cruel, it's mean, but doesn't mean that you have to basically let that be who you are. right?
Don't mean
You
you
can
gotta
break
lay
that
down and
cycle.
take it either.
Yeah, I mean, you can literally break that cycle and literally impact people in a way that you didn't think you could. So that's what I got out of it.
So it's three big things that I got from what you just said, right? And I didn't know you were 28 right now. I was just throwing out.
I recently just turned 28, so you're totally cool.
That's what's up. But so for one, as you grow up, get a little older, have some experience in life, you start to understand and realize your value and your worth, right? As a child, you know, when shit's cool, everything's great, sunshine and rainbows, it doesn't really dawn on you. You know what I mean? You're just living life. The other thing you said is that life's too short. Like, as you get older, by the time you hit 26, 27, for most people, if you're lucky, you might have lost one or two family members or friends or whatever. You start to realize life's short. Like, one day you're here, next day you're gone type situation. So, and that, it could be anybody. It could be because of your actions or your habits or your associations, and it can have nothing to do with none of that. It was just your time to go, right? I forgot the last thing you said, but I'll bring it up later. I remind myself. But that is why we have why age is so important in the macho market.
Yeah.
Now, that's not to say that you can't find somebody 18, 19 years old that's got that hunger, that's got that dog in them, that's ready to go out and take what they feel is owed to them. You know what I mean? But
Especially, I feel like people who have, or maybe more women, but women who've had children that young, their mindset and view is completely different than a different 19, 20-year-old girl.
definitely, yeah. Having children, definitely. Having children.
I like ages you.
Losing parents.
Yes.
Going to prison.
Going to prison, going to the military. You know, these are things that make you mentally age quicker, right?
Also, like failing on a business, like you invested a lot on a business.
And that's just really life experience.
Right.
You know what I mean? We know 90% of businesses fail within their first 5 years, right? Typically, that's due to lack of access to capital, but a lot of times it's also due to lack of management, lack of leadership. You know what I mean? So, but you know, you come across somebody that's 18, 19 in their early 20s, started a business, it went under. They've got a lot more life experience learned by that time than your average college student or, you know, regular employee fresh out of high school type situation. But the reason why, and that's why I said you definitely want to identify your target market, because it'll make it a lot easier for you to convey this message, right? At that point, you're talking to people that are of the mindset of, you know, being accepting, being open to accepting the information you're providing, right? So married, did you say married?
Yeah.
Married.
I don't think that one should be in there, but whatever. Married, age, children, homeowner, occupation.
I don't think it necessarily has to be married, but more like relationship.
Yeah, that is what they say, committed relationship.
Well, living together with somebody, even though you're not legally, but in common law, is considered a marriage couple.
Yeah.
In
Yeah,
the eyes of
technically.
God, you are like, when you have, you know, intimacy with that person that you live with, you're married to that person.
Mm-hmm.
I done married a lot of things.
Oh my God.
No,
Yeah,
because when you are committed
First of all,
to
you
that
have not
woman,
lived with that many people,
you
so
gotta
shut up.
be committed to that person.
No,
It's a
the
lifetime.
Bible says once you have sex, you're married, essentially.
No, that does not.
Yeah, it does.
Where?
That's what consummating a marriage is about. That's the act that solidifies
I've
the
been married a
union.
lot
I
too.
mean, that's true. Technically, sex is, I mean, it could be wrong, but
You gotta go together with the commitment,
right.
a lifetime commitment.
But problem is nowadays people don't know how to commit
Nope.
because they see it as a temporary.
People also don't know how to identify what's worth committing to,
Yeah.
or identify what could be a liability in the future because of their past, right? People overlook the important things for the carnal urges type shit. So,
Right.
so on that point, right? most people don't identify properly what they need or what they're looking for, what's going to be good for them in the future, right? And that's a problem that, I know a lot of the agents in the office are having. You're not identifying the right type of people to work with.
Yeah.
So when you're expending all this energy talking to the wrong people, and you checking off all the boxes, you following a recipe, you're waiting, you're following up, and then it falls through, or they don't show up, or they stop showing up. Now you feel like you've wasted energy. Is it their fault or is it your fault? Right? Because they didn't quit on you, they quit on themselves. So that's a them problem. But at the same time, you've given up all this energy at this point. Now you're tired. Now you don't have the same energy and enthusiasm and excitement when you're going to talk to the right people, right? And these people are the ones that's picking up on he ain't got it, right? So when I bring up following the recipe, right? Can I see a playbook? It's really super simple. If y'all don't know, the founder of the company is Patrick Bet-David.
Oh, that looks real pretty now.
The founder of the company is Patrick Bet-David, right?
Wow.
And I guess like a little bit about his history. Before he started PHP, he was working with another field marketing organization, probably another like top 5 in the country, right? He was their top producer. And at one point he went and asked them, he wanted like stock in the company. You know what I mean? Like he wanted some kind of equity, a little bit of ownership, right? They refused to give it to him. So he started PHP, right? The funny thing about that, though, is if you look at the insurance game, and it's kind of like, I want to call it a genealogy, like from where it started, where it was years ago, to the biggest, most successful organizations, they kind of fall in line, like they come out of each other, right? Primerica, our annoying little brother, right? Their founder, A.L. Williams, if I'm not mistaken, he was like an Amway distributor before he started Primerica, right? But since Primerica, all the rest of the FMOs, right, not insurance companies, but the field marketing organizations, they've all been based on that model. As a matter of fact, if you go through like any training in the network marketing or multi-level marketing, affiliate marketing industry, right, where there's actually a training system, A.L. Williams books are always tops on the list because all these systems, like the reason why, so network marketing as an industry was under threat, I think in like the 80s, right? They kept calling it a pyramid scheme and nobody's making money or whatever. It was such a big deal that it went to Congress. And before Congress, they had to like pretty much open up their books and show the training and the commission structure and all of that. The result of that was that's why network marketing is legal in the country now. Because before they were going to outlaw it. But once they looked at like the systems, the processes put in place, the ideology, the education, all of that, it was understood like this is a system where we're going to give you all the tools. You get to decide if you make it or not. And the only way you really don't make it is if you give up and quit, right? So I'm bringing that up to say PBD, when he decided to start this company, one of the things he did, and I've never heard this said before, but I know personally just from my own experience, he went to other companies and learned how and why they were so successful. And then he put all that shit in his book. All of it. Like, it's funny because you can use this playbook to go do any other marketing opportunity. But this is the recipe book. This has the answers. If you want to know how to go about, introducing yourself or piquing interest or how to run the conversation, it's all in here. So you don't have to guess. You don't have to have Pat on speed dial. You don't have to have Gordon Ramsay on speed dial. The recipe's right here. And if you I think it's only the first 30 pages for real. Invitation system.
Nice.
Core foundation. Blah, blah, blah. You change this shit? No. Oh no. So it's like in 3-4 parts. But I shouldn't tell you it's only the first 30 pages. You need to get a playbook. You need to read it. You need to use it. And you won't have the same problems. Other than talking to the wrong people, which is something only you can solve for. But I mean, if you follow the macho market, and you get used to having a conversation based on or with the purpose of identifying their pain points, right? You're not gonna have a problem getting people to come out to the office and check out what we got going on. Because when they tell you, oh man, I'm tired. I hate the fact I can't make it to my daughter's soccer games. My parents are sick and I can't spend time with them. They live across the country. I never see them. When they tell you that and then you tell them, hey, if I could show you a way to increase your income so you could make it to the game, so you could make it to see your mom and dad, would that be a conversation you're open to having? Right? When it's focused on them instead of focused on you and your goals, you'll see a lot more turnout and a lot more success in your invitations, right? And your conversion as a whole. Because when people start to understand, like, if you're talking to somebody about something they don't care about, it may very well be important. It may be important to you. It may be important in the larger scheme of things, but they're not going to care. It's not what they care about. People don't care how much you know until they know how much you care. So that's the point of having a conversation with people, asking certain questions, asking probing questions, right? Get used to asking people why. Why is that important to you? Like, why are you here, Dimitri? What brings you here, Dimitri? No. You know what? Never mind. What brings you here, Desmond? Mm-hmm.
Knowledge that I don't have. I feel like help not only my situation, but other people I care about.
So why is that important to you?
Mainly because of the fact that I see that the other people I mentioned, I see that they struggle more than I do sometimes. And although it seems like they're in better positions than I am, I feel like they need this information and can help them.
Why could it help them?
Why could it help them? Because it could take them out of, like I said last time, that matrix.
So you see it as a way to help people access
A financially free lifestyle.
freedom. So that was just kind of like an example, but that's how it works when you ask anybody. Ask them why 2 more times. When you ask them the first question, they're going to give you a surface bullshit answer. Ask them why that's important to them. And then make them drill down on it again. When you can do that, you get to the root of people's issues. And when you have the root of their issue, you can drive them, motivate them, inspire them to do what you want. Some people would call it manipulation. But manipulation is negative. Inspiration is positive. Same thing, right?
Like the hierarchy of pleasure in psychology, like the hierarchy of pleasure, and that's how you
Elaborate.
like the hierarchy of pleasure is like there's certain stimuli that causes dopamine to be released in the human mind, and if you can trigger, if you can like drill in on exactly what that is, you can kind of control them. You can kind of control where they go as long as you can keep peaking that pleasure, keep peaking that pleasure.
So it's funny you mentioned that, right? Hierarchy of pleasure. Why is that important to you? Okay, so I was listening to something recently, and it was like, for example, right? Say you're talking to a mom or a dad, a parent, right? And they tell you that, you know, the reason why I want to do such and such is to provide a better life for my kids, to create a, financial stability or whatever, right? And kind of to your point. So you ask them, how would you feel? How will you feel when you accomplish A, B, and C? Right? And you'll see like their face lights up. Like it's like, like a weight off their shoulders.
Your brain cannot tell the difference between you thinking something and you actually doing something.
Mm-hmm.
It's the same way, it's the same receptors for fire.
So, but the same way you do that, ask them, how will you feel when you accomplish A, B, and C? You have to also ask them, how will you feel if you don't accomplish that? And you'll see a complete demeanor change every time. It's like you took the weight off of them and then you dropped it back on them. They go from smiling to right.
What would it look like if you didn't like this? These are all there.
Right. So when I'm talking about following the recipe, right? Like we don't get paid to recruit, but recruiting pays, right? The reason why we're going out and telling more people about this opportunity, while we're sharing this information with more and more people, is because like we're putting money back in the communities, right? Like if you make sure your kids are good, but everybody else in the community ain't, your kids have a target on their back, right? So is there a bit of altruism in our mission? Yes. But at the same time, we're doing it to CYA too. So we want to be talking to the right people. Go ahead.
My bad. I just wanted to touch the manipulation thing for you. Went too far.
Go ahead.
Ain't nothing wrong with manipulation, man. It's just the connotation attached to it. Oh, my apologies. I'm sorry. There's nothing wrong.
Okay. All right, Barry White.
with manipulation. Okay? It's the connotation that we attach to it.
The perception, the programming of the
You
word.
feel what I'm saying? It's the connotation. Manipulation ain't really nothing but coercion or change. You see what I'm saying?
Propaganda.
Teachers, parents, guiders, mentors do that. There's nothing wrong with that. I just want to throw that at you, anybody that had a hang up with that. All right. That's it.
It's very true.
Mic drop.
But when we're following the recipe, you want to be inviting the right people. You want to be having the right conversations. You want to be using the right language, right? But when you put all that together, what you'll get is you'll get agents. You'll get a team. You'll get an organization. Like
Look at
gumbo.
some gumbo.
Right.
Get some gumbo.
Right, no doubt.
When we go to your grandma's.
You said you get the team.
Agents, team. You'll have the right people around you, right? And if we're building an army, you want the strongest people around you. Like in 300, it was 300 Spartans against the largest army in the world.
Chicken meals.
But they had the right people around them. So they were confident in their ability to succeed, right? So that's what we're building here. But you just got to be more intentional about taking those steps. And you also have to be confident enough to take the right step, the right way every time, right? Because if you're doing it the right way, the same way, I guess, every time, it's not you that's fucking up. You know what you're doing is the right way to do it. You know how we always say you can't say the wrong thing to the right person or the right thing to the wrong person?
You got the wrong recipe, you ain't never gonna make a good dish.
Right. And if their tastes suck, they're never gonna think your food's good. Get out of my restaurant. Don't come back. You know what I'm saying? So you gotta have that kind of confidence about, that kind of conviction about what you're presenting to people, because you think Gordon Ramsay cares if somebody says they don't like his food? Like, bro, you probably in the wrong place. And that's cool. That's cool. Go to Primerica, go to WFG, go back to work. You know what I'm saying? Go clock in. But like, y'all are here for a reason. You know what to say. You know who you're supposed to be talking to. At this point, just do it. Like, say the least you can. Don't give up a whole lot of information. I don't know if you've ever heard Pat, like when people ask him, what does he do? Oh, I show people how money works and how money grows. Is there anything else I've ever heard him say? I'm sure he says like other stuff, but it's always that simple. You know what I'm saying? Say the least amount you can to as many people as possible, as fast as possible. And when they start asking questions, great question. Let me put you on the phone with my coach, with my business partner, or you know what? It'd probably be best if you just came into the office and checked us out for yourself. So you can see what we got going on. So you can see how we do things and how we help people, right? Because I'm still kind of new. I'm still learning. I'm excited, obviously, but I don't want to mess it up for you. So come check it out for yourself so you can make the best decision for yourself, right? Like, don't be afraid to take it away from people either. It's not for everybody. And you don't want to work with everybody. Most people are a headache. You don't even need an enormous team. Like, Matt has like 3,000 people in his downline, but only a handful of those people are personally connected to him, that he talks to on a regular basis, that he works with on a regular basis. Everybody has access, but how many people does like have his number? You know what I mean? So like, we don't need the whole world. Can we save the world? Yeah, but it's going to be one family at a time. And in order to find those families, in order to find those individuals, those people, in order to find and build the team that you need to go out and complete this mission, it starts with you following the recipe.
I like that.
Anybody want to add anything? What?
El Cocinero.
You know what?
El Cocinero.
That's not how the fuck you say coach in Spanish.
No, the chef.
Oh, cocinero.
Oh, El Cocinero.
Yeah. Close. What was you saying, D? Anybody want to add anything? Any questions?
Oh, you were talking about like the gap in the mindset difference between 22 and 28. Like, I turned 28 this month and the 24th, and it's completely different. Like, it's like, and it's not. I don't even know. Like, I went through other stuff too. It's just crazy. Like, my view of the world just slowly changed, and it's just crazy. It's just crazy. I realized how much I was programmed by Instagram and YouTube and this rapper and that rapper coming up. And after I was kind of stripped of that for a good little time, I came out the fog and I realized, you know what I'm saying, what I was missing and things like that. So it's a big difference. I get the 25 thing. It's a big difference. But bro, right here, he's under 25 and he a different breed, man. We sit in his car listening to old 90s rap all day, man. He a old soul, man. You can find those needle in the haystack.
And that's why you can't prejudge.
Yeah.
Because you don't know. You don't know who you're going to come across or what their experience has been. But you can gain all that. You can get an understanding of all that just by asking simple questions. Where you from? What's your favorite team? Where your parents live? Are you the only child? I mean, you got kids? You married? Like, it's honestly, fam, it's really just about having a normal conversation with people. What do you do? Like in the playbook is, what do you do now? What do you enjoy about what you do? What would you adjust if you could? Who in your life helps you make decisions? And if I can provide a solution for you to help you enjoy what you enjoy out of that and change what you want to change while still making more money, would that be something you'd be interested in hearing about? That's it.
So basically, I'm looking at it like the same I did with like the difference between you going to somebody, right? Because I guess you see value in them versus them coming to you because they see value in you. It's a different dynamic. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You be after the same goal, but it's a different dynamic. And I'm little, but basically it's gonna come back to me. You know I got it.
Okay, Grandpa.
It's gonna come back.
You know, we were just talking about that with Patrick before this meeting, and it was very true how many times we focus so much on things and getting things and buying things and paying for things, but yeah, we don't think that we need to focus on us, man. Adding value to also the people think that we are valuable, just like what he was saying. He's very valuable to the company that he's at. That one day, I mean, I don't know if you have your resume written down and you have all these things that you believe are very valuable to a company, that when somebody sees your resume, they're willing to pay you more than anybody in the chat, you know? So, just to say that, you know, when you guys were talking, I, it came to me, I don't know if you ever heard of the small voice inside. You know, when you were little, when you were a kid, you had this mentality of greatness, right? You believe that
I can do
you wanted
anything.
to do something with your life.
Reading
Like a
rainbows.
dream, right? But what happens as you get older? Because people disappoint you, like you get mistreated,
You conform.
humiliated.
You conform.
That small voice inside starts to get smaller and smaller and smaller and smaller. Because all this drama happening, right? Belittling you, whatever. That small voice, man, starts to, and that's what I was just telling him. That, I mean, for some reason, that I started like shutting myself down. That's into somebody who I was not. And you know, that small voice is starting to come back to me. And just recently, I started to hear it more and more. And that small voice simply is, man, that and say it in first person, like I was created to do great things, you know. And it's in my head. I can't get it out of my head. And it's just, and my belief, I believe is God telling me, that, hey, I created you to do greater things than what you do. So that small voice plays in my head over and over, wherever I go, wherever I do. And so it just gives me purpose, you know. And so that's just one thing that I wanted to share with you guys that, and it goes with what Pat just shared with us. He just said we are here to inspire greatness. But how do we do that? We have to believe it
You
ourselves.
gotta be great.
It's got to come from
You have to
you.
believe it yourself. Number one, for you, you know.
And to your point too, I've heard it described before that motivation is an outward influence, while inspiration is internal, right? So when you're talking about the small voice inside, as you grow up and as you go through shit and you get beat down and knocked down and things don't work and things don't happen, that small voice kind of diminishes. You lose your inspiration, right? Small voice getting smaller and smaller. So then you start seeking motivation, but everything from the outside ain't really for us in most cases, right? That's the programming that we're trying to fight against. So you go through, you know, the small voice getting smaller, right? And that also kind of correlates to you not valuing yourself, right? Because when that voice is loud in you, nothing on the outside is louder. Nothing on the outside makes a difference. This is how I feel, this is how I think, this is what I want, this is what I'm gonna do, right? When you have that kind of demeanor, that kind of
Conviction.
yes, that kind of conviction, that's what drives people to success. That's what, like, yeah, that's what drives people to success. You can't expect that the world is going to motivate you to greatness because most of these outside influences are not for your benefit. They're for your demise. They're for the consumptive habits. You know what I'm saying? Like until you build value in yourself to the point where that internal voice is louder than everything else and you've made a decision that this is what I want, this is what I'm worth, I'm gonna have it no matter what, like shit's gonna be hard. You know what I'm saying? Like you gotta make that decision for yourself. You gotta let that internal voice be loud, like and proud. Block out all the external.
So I remember what I was saying, but to your point, what you're saying is that your inspiration, if China property can become others' motivation.
That's true too.
But to the point that I was not remember what I was saying. And so what I was saying is like the science or whatever. It's like the same way, like when you go into somebody that treat it as such, you see what I'm saying? Like you need them, you see value in them. You know what I'm saying? And like I said, versus when they come to you and they meet you, they see that the dynamics are different. And so when you knowing that you have information, you know what I'm saying, that's valuable to people, and you know that they don't know that. You see what I'm saying? So the approach matters. You know what I'm saying? If the approach is so much as I'm a salesman, I have something to offer. You see what I'm saying? That's a different dynamic than I'm a man who just happen to have information. You see what I'm saying?
Yep.
That
So
whole conversation to that conversation point, like talking to people, you know what I'm saying? And taking opportunity, you know what I'm saying? Instead of trying to
Drizzle to do.
So we should never be approaching people like we need them. That's where that commission breath situation comes in, right? Because you don't really need anybody. You have something to give everybody, and you only want to give it to people. You want to work with the willing. No, you don't need any one person in particular, right? What you need is for people to know what you do. But you don't have to join me in business. You ain't got to get a policy. But I want you to know what I do so that when you come across somebody smarter than you that's looking for what I have, you know how to send me a referral, right? But also to your point, when it comes to like you said, you don't want to approach anybody like a salesman, like the sleazy used car salesman type situation. That's where asking the right questions comes in at, right? Because when you have a conversation with people at a certain level and you're asking the right questions and you can ascertain certain information from them, you can find their pain point. So I know I've said this a couple times already, but if you offer somebody your service or solution before they tell you your problem, you know what you're doing? Begging. Right? However, if you wait until they express their problem to then offer your solution, you're doing what?
You're
Serving. Right? So I guess in this analogy, begging would be like selling, right? I need you to buy what I got. Serving is giving. I got what you need. You just told me you needed it.
And right.
I ain't twist your arm to get the information.
The only way that they know that you have what they need is because they obviously share some information with you to let you know that. But like I say, other than that, you just an a-hole.
Not if you approach them with, bro, them shoes? Where you get those, bro?
I got them at where that Brooks Mall is, northeast of San Antonio.
Uh-huh.
It's surprisingly there's no shops there, but found this one suit shop, got it for like $50. Originally like $200.
Yeah, bro, I need to go over there, but it's Tuesday, bro. It's not church. Why you dressed like that? What do you do?
I work in financial services.
Okay. Well, I mean, how long you been doing that? What do you like about it?
Doing it a couple of years. I like just serving people, educating people.
So if you could change anything about what you do right now, what would it be?
Nothing. Sucks for you. I'm just kidding.
Sorry, we're going on a different script here. I was like, I wouldn't really change anything except just finding better ways to meet people, interact with people.
Okay. Well, look, hey, I'm actually a part of a couple small business networking groups in the city.
Oh, okay.
We're actually having an event this weekend. If I were to invite you out, you think you'd be able to make it?
Okay, yeah.
All right, cool. I want to introduce you to some of my business partners. Maybe you can, strike up a conversation, find some people that need what you have.
Oh, it makes my life easier. Heck yeah.
So,
Speaking of, did you ever follow Jeff?
he said he was coming. Actually, no, he didn't say he was coming. So if you offer your solution before they tell you their problem, you're begging, you're selling, right? We're not here to sell or convince. We're here to serve. You offer your solution after they told you your problem, you're serving. Just like everybody hates or avoids a beggar, everybody loves somebody providing a service. So that's really the only difference. But you gotta have a conversation. You can't feel like you're the asshole all the time. You can be the asshole all the time. You just don't want to feel like that all the time. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I like what Matt said. He said it one time on one of the Sunday calls is that we need to get out of this mindset that we're inconveniencing people. And
Right.
we're not. You know, we have what they need. The problem is that we have that other voice that says otherwise, you know, like, well, why the heck are you talking to that person? And trying to deter you to have a conversation with that person just to get to know them, right? Again, all the questions you're asking is to qualify them, and to what Larry was saying, to add on to it, you know, the macho market, all of those, understanding the macho market is basically finding their pain points, really, right? If you can find their pain points, Matt says it all the time, drive the pain, right? Don't basically, like, at that moment, provide them a solution, right? You can find another pain point, right? But well, I don't spend that too many times with my wife, my kids, and all that. Pain point, right? Financially, I'm just not doing too well, you know, behind on payment and all that, right? Pain point, right? I don't have much time to myself, me time, and all that. Pain point, right? Every pain point that you find, you are adding 20% of basically closing them, right? And then that's where you can end with, as he said before, like, if I can show you a way with the pain points that he gave you and all that, would you be open to have a conversation about it, right? There you go. And of course he is, because now you basically show that, oh, he was listening to me the whole time and he can provide me a solution to my problems that I have. Heck, why wouldn't I not do it? Because there's going to be people they're perfect, right? Supposedly. That's where you got to you're digging. You're basically digging and finding, because everyone always really has a pain point, unless you're a business owner. But even business owners still
Even business owners have pain points.
Yeah, I was
really.
gonna say, ultimately,
Everybody's got a pain point.
If everything was peachy clean, you wouldn't even run into them in the street.
Straight up.
Yeah.
Straight up. If everything was the way they wanted to be, they would probably be on a beach on the other side of the world somewhere.
They're out here for a reason.
Yeah,
They looking for something.
You know what I'm saying?
And you also got to remember, like, your steps are led. You know what I mean? Especially when you're a believer. Like, you're not here for a reason, and you're not even really fully in control for real. You know what I'm saying? So the interactions, the encounters you have with people, that seems random. No, it was for a reason. Whether that reason was for them to write a policy or become a business partner or whatever the case may be right now, or a year from now when they fucking hit the lottery. You never know. Not to mention, they might not be ready right now, but their aunt, their uncle, their brother, their sister, somebody just had a baby, somebody just started a business, somebody just bought a home. Oh, but they need to hear it. But you'd have never gotten to those other people if you hadn't started with this one, right? So we got to get out of this sell mentality, even though, I mean, we're in the sales industry.
It's
right?
consultative sales. It's not really like you're pushing something on them. You're finding a solution to their problem without basically being like shoving it down their throat.
And then let them know, hey, look, I got a solution to your problem. Whenever you're ready to fix that, come holler at me. If it's not now, cool. That's fine. It's completely up to you. You want to keep dealing with that? You want to keep missing games? You want to keep missing your parents? You want to, all right, fine. But whenever you're ready to fix that, you know where to holler at me at. You know where to find me. So, and that goes to just being consistent. Like, stick with it. Be involved. Be knowing what's going on. You know what I'm saying? Like, don't be the person that starts posting about, insurance, starts posting about finances and financial literacy on your Facebook, and then you stop because you wasn't making no money, or you wasn't making the money you thought you wanted to make it first. Because from experience, people will watch you for years just to see if you're serious. For years. And they might not be ready for what you got right now. But you'll be the first person they think of. Oh shit, I know Dane probably got me. Hey Dane, you do such and such still? Nah, man.
It's definitely about time.
And then they say,
a million times.
I told you so.
You gonna pull up when you know. It's all about time.
That's a good analogy. I'm gonna use that one later.
One thing that is good why to come here to places like this is because there is a scripture in James 1:19 that says, be slow to speak and quick to listen. And what I was with Patrick at a event this past Thursday. It's a very good event where there's a bunch of business people and people that knows a lot of other people, and it's a great place to do networking, right? And so I invited him and he came, and it was just a perfect opportunity. But I blew it, man. I blew it because I was so excited to share this information, to like try to get people to really, you know, get interested, that I messed it up, man. I didn't listen, you know. I was doing all the talking, man. And so it kind of blew some of my opportunities. We got some good, you know, contacts and stuff, prospects, but I didn't do that. And so sometimes it takes coming here and listening and hearing this thing over and over again. You're not begging, you're providing a service, right? But you cannot do it until you hear the problem. You gotta wait. You gotta wait, man, and ask the right questions. And so that's the solution. You provide financial services. That's it. That's the solution. That's the solution to the problem. And so, you know, waiting until the person tells you the problem. I mean, how many times we came here and we heard this, but yet when we get out there, we do the opposite. And that's the thing that it takes. I'm sure we're gonna all mess up.
High level of confidence.
We're gonna mess up, man. But keep trying. Keep messing up. Keep trying to improve, you know, and so we're just gonna get better. You know, be gracious to yourself.
Can't get stronger if you don't do the reps.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? You're gonna have a bird chest for the rest of your life, scrawny pencil legs for the rest of your life if you're not doing the reps, if you're not doing the squats.
Right.
So just get to work. Not every one of them is gonna be perfect. Most of the motherfuckers is gonna hurt. But you gotta do the work if you're looking to get stronger. You gotta provide the service. You gotta get out there and help the community if you plan on, you know what I mean, creating kind of financial stability for yourself in this situation.
Yeah.
Otherwise, you can go to work and clock in. Yeah, I think Pat's done. I appreciate y'all for listening to my rant today.
No, that was great. Thank you.
Woo! I'm thirsty as hell, man.
Again, follow the recipe.
Follow the recipe.
Don't give no solution if you don't even know what the problem is. Follow the recipe.